So the NBA general managers, they can't vote for their own players and team. They have a survey, and it comes out every year at this time. This is also known as the survey called NBA GMs apparently don't watch that much basketball. So there's 4 or 5 things they vote on. Who's going to win the MVP? Who's going to make the finals? Who's going to win Rookie of the Year? But I always go to one category every year. They ask a question on NBA.com, the GM survey. If you were starting a franchise today and could sign any player in the NBA, who would it be? A year ago, last year at this time, we talked about this. So this year, it's Karl Anthony Towns, who has never made the playoffs, 29%. And the Greek Freak, who's never won a playoff series at 21%. Then it's LeBron, Kawhi Leonard, and Kevin Durant, who was the MVP of the finals, 11%. Okay. But at the bottom of the screen, I want you to notice something. Also receiving votes, Steph Curry. Oh, well, how grand of you. Hey, everybody, did you hear that Steph Curry, a 2-time MVP, whose playoff record in the last 3 years is 43-13, he also got votes. Do you realize in the college football poll this weekend, Navy and Troy also got votes? Do you realize that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame recently had an induction ceremony? Pearl Jam got inducted. Kraftwerk, a Swedish band, got votes. NBA general managers, if they were starting a franchise, a couple of them, now think about this. He's the fastest scorer in league history. He breaks his only Wilt Chamberlain and Steph Curry literally every year break their own record. His playoff record is 43-13. His skill is based on one that will not deteriorate with age. Big guys fall apart. Little guys don't. He is the smartest player, arguably, in league history. He is, without ego for his greatness, recruiting Kevin Durant. He is the best ball handler in the NBA. And NBA general managers went with bigs who haven't won a playoff series. Steph Curry also got votes. Could I remind you in the presidential election, kooky Ron Paul also received votes. Yeah, I'm not going to give the best shooter shooting a shot that's transformed the game, the best ball handler, the most unselfish, authentic star in the game, who is incredibly coachable and has the self-esteem that he'll go recruit potentially a better player, will give up shots, had an off year last year and still shot 41.5% with threes. He's now a Swedish band, Ron Paul. He is an honorable mention, also getting votes in the college football poll. He's Troy football. General managers, you do watch the game. You do realize now that bigs don't win titles. You do realize without the hand check, point guards now dominate the floor, dominate the game, become MVPs, like quarterbacks take all the snaps, control the tempo. Who are the people controlling this league? Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry. But outside of LeBron James, even a very talented wing Anthony Davis, a big Kawhi Leonard, they're not doing anything. Steph Curry got votes? Votes.
I'm just happy that you didn't say LeBron deserves all the votes, because I think that's what you said last year.
No.
But the question is, who would you want to build a team around?
Steph Curry
and
before.
I think Steph Curry is great, but he's 29 years old. Karl Anthony Towns is 21.
Okay, let me ask you.
And that's the question, to build. So
Okay.
long-term building, you do want to build around a young guy. And you also want a sure thing.
I don't want to build around a young center. It's no longer a center's league. They don't even make the playoffs. Steph is a sure thing for the next 5 years. He's a sure thing.
But that, I don't know that could be considered building. Like,
if I said to you, we're going to build this network, you do get that Skip Bayless and I and most of us here, a lot of these guys, we're all over 50.
yes, but you don't have to worry about your aging, deterorating body.
Well, I do about
Just
my
your
eyes and my
voice.
ears and my hair that changes color, and I'm falling apart too. Listen,
No.
I am an hour and a half from my prostate falling out of my pants. I mean, all I'm saying is, I don't care how old Steph Curry is. Steph Curry does something, shoot 3-pointers. Kobe Bryant scored 60 points in his last game. And you're going to give it to centers? This league is not... Dwight Howard couldn't win a series. This league is now controlled by point guards. He's the best one in terms of ball handling, lack of ego, self-awareness, shooting threes. He got votes? Sheesh. All right. Yeah, did you hear that, Christine?
What?
Steph Curry's dad played till he was 38, and he's not as good
And
as
that's totally fine. But if you're going to start from scratch and build around someone, you want a young, sure thing player. Point guards have been very hard to figure out. Like
Really?
Derrick Rose was supposed to be the greatest point guard, and look at him now.
I'll tell you who's hard to figure out. Kooky, airheaded centers. Kwame Brown.
Did you just call him an airhead?
No, Dwight Howard, airhead.
Well, you can't lump every center into a category
Been a
because
lot
of Dwight
more
Howard.
center busts in the last 20 years than point guard busts.
I don't know that that's true.
That's completely true. Centers, if you're 7 feet in the 8th grade, don't think it screws with you psychologically? Of course it does. That's why center, Kwame Brown, flake. Andrew Bynum, flake. Shaq, kind of flaky.
If you're the point guard where everything runs through you and you have a lot of pressure on you, don't you think that messes with you psychologically?
No, I think you make a lot of money, shoe deals.
Doesn't that mess with you psychologically?
No, point guards run this league. They just do. Point guards and wings. NBA GMs.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.